Hello, my name is Audrie Gordon, and I'd like to welcome you to the 15th day of the Dataverse Advent Calendar. I can't believe we're more than halfway done with the series. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the love we get from Power BI as we work in Dataverse or in Power Apps. I'm going to start by pointing out that right away, since we've been talking about Canvas apps, there is an integration with Canvas apps that allows you to insert a Power BI tile from a dashboard directly into your app. And this is a great way to add insights into your apps as well as your SharePoint forms. So this Power BI goodness can be inserted at the top or at the bottom of a phone app to share additional insights. So I'll show you a little bit of this, but since this has been out for a long time, so this is not new, I won't spend a lot of time there. Rather, I'm going to spend a time in some of the more recent investments with Power BI, which include automatic visualizations as well as dashboards, custom pages, and components. And this will take place inside of a model-driven app today. If you want to know more about how to use Power BI tiles inside Canvas apps, please put those questions down in the description and I'll try to get you some answers. I will also include all the links for all these types of integrations directly below in the recommended reading and watching section of the description. Okay, so when it comes to model driven, you may or may not be aware of this because you must turn on a feature. But the first thing that I love about the Power BI goodness in model driven apps is basically you turn on this feature in the settings of your app, which is called Enable Power BI Quick Report. And then after you save that app and publish it, you will notice a new command in the command bar which says visualize this view. And so this is a really easy way to visualize views with the power of Power BI without even having to know how to use Power BI. So those of you that are new to Power BI or maybe just haven't had a chance to learn everything there is to know, this is an awesome option for you. Secondly, all of the Power BI reports and dashboards that you publish to shared workspaces are all solution aware, which means you can add them to your solutions using add existing or add new to embed these Power BI reports or dashboards on pages in your model driven app. So I'll show you that as well. And then lastly, whenever you're building your forms, you'll also able to add Power BI reports as widgets on your model-driven forms. And you would do that by using PCF components. All right, so let's take a look at some of this directly in Power Apps. So I'm going to flip over to Power Apps and start by add this tile. So I'll show you how I added this tile. I'll just delete it, right? And then I just added a blank screen to take up that space. And then I'm just going to, in this search for insert, just type power. It's the only power that's going to come up. So you click on Power BI tile. When you do that, you must choose a workspace. Now, big difference between Canvas and model driven, but I'm going to tell you the caveat about this. In model driven, you won't be able to add dashboards and reports that are in your workspace. Only you, nobody else can see it. So in the model driven world, they need to be in a shared workspace. However, here in Canvas apps, I can build this app with a tile from a dashboard in my workspace. And the thing about that is that's great for me if I'm building an app for me. But if I was building an app for someone else, I might be in trouble because they won't be able to see the tile because they don't have access. So whenever you're planning to use tiles inside of a Canvas app, make sure you use tiles that you share your tiles and put them in workspaces in case if you want other people to see it. All right. In this case, it's going to be dedicated to me. There is a learn more if you want to hear more about what I'm saying now, but it's pretty straightforward. Just make sure whoever you want to see the tile can see it. And it will resize itself depending on how much space you give the tile. So you can make it small or you can make it big. But you do kind of have to think about what's the size of your tile and how well does it fit in the context of my app. Okay, there. And let's go to Power Apps in another tenant. And I'm going to look at the Northwind solution. So we've been talking about this solution a lot. We will use it a couple times in this series. So I hope you had a chance to download the Northwind Traders Solution and kind of take a look at what's inside there. Lots of goodness that you can enjoy, even data that you can add. So what I have done is I've added a dashboard for my division sales into the Northwind Traders solution. So I will have access to that from any app that I build that's inside this solution as well. So right now I have some apps in here. So let's open up the model-driven app. This is the one that comes with it. So when you import the solution and install it, you will automatically get this app. So you'll be ready to try this out. And then the first thing I'm going to do, just for the sake of time, is I'm going to go into my settings and show you that Power BI feature. This is the quick report feature. So you just go into the settings of the app, the model-driven app, and then turn that on. Okay, we're going to get to doing that in a minute. Now I'm going to add that report that you saw in my solution. So basically I'll just start over. I'll hit add page. When I hit add page, we've already done the tables before. We've done custom pages. We haven't done dashboard. So let's click on dashboard. And then you'll see that you'll get all the system dashboards that are normally included when you install the Dataverse database. But you also get any Power BI dashboards that you have published. Again, I'll stress, to a shared workspace. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. Notice I have the option to show it in my model-driven navigation or not, just like everything else. I'll leave it shown and I'll hit add. And now you can see that that dashboard is now here. Now I might want to shorten the name for my navigation, so I can just come over here where it says title and type sales report maybe. Okay, and then the other thing I might want to change is new group. So I'll go up to navigation and new group, and let's give this a different name as well. We'll just call this work streams for now. And now you can see I can save and publish this. And we'll be able to test out our model-driven app alongside our dashboard. I'm going to zoom in quite a bit here. And you can see if I click on sales report, Power BI engine just jumps right in there and runs. And this is a pre-formatted dashboard that somebody did that knows Power BI, and now you can bring that in very easily. Okay, just FYI, if you'd like to get started with Power BI alongside Dataverse, it is very easy to connect to it. So I'm just going to go to Power BI and show you that real quick. Okay, once Power BI is open, I'm going to go to the Get Data, and you'll see Dataverse right here. Dataverse. And then what you'll do once you see Dataverse is you will be presented with all the environments that you have access to. So I'm going to go ahead and use Alan's environment here. So I think that's the environment I'm in. I don't need the account table. I'm sorry. I'm going to scroll down and I can actually go to these prefixes. All the tables have the Northwind prefix. So I can just search for in wind, which is the prefix they all have. And then I can add any ones that I would like. It depends on what my target is. Let's add the orders and the customers. I can most definitely transform data. The transformation I might suggest with this data is on the product name. because the product name has a very long prefix of Northwind Traders. So you could transform the data. I'm not going to transform it right now, but you could transform it to be only the part after Northwind Traders. You can do a write function or something like that in DAX. I'm going to do a direct query so that every time you're looking at this dashboard, you're looking at the data directly as it is in Dataverse. And you'll see it'll load all the tables there together. And it'll pick up all the schema, and it'll set all the connections for you. It's doing quite a bit of work there for you. And now it's received the data, and you need to decide what you want to do, right? So let's do an easy visualization on what products are selling the most. So I'm going to go into the order details. Okay, the other thing I'm going to get is the quantity purchased. All right, and then I'm going to open this up, and you can see what I meant by I might transform this, just getting the right side after Northwind Traders. You can use a simple DAX command, and I can save this. You can do other things. This is just an example. And the key is, once you finish your example, make sure you publish it to a shared workspace so that you can add it to your solution. All right. Key thing that I've learned here is publish it to a shared location. All right. So that's that trick. I just wanted to make sure you knew how to connect. All right. So the last thing, and which is my favorite thing that I like to talk about, is the automatic visualizations we get from enabling that feature in the settings. So maybe I should get the order details real quick. So I'm going to add a page and just add a table because I like the order details view. It has some numbers in it, and that's why I'm kind of going to get it. So I want order detail. All right, and then let's play. I didn't do anything to this view, shame on me. But we can do it right now. I'll show you how to do that. So this is one of those things I love to point out about views. The end user, who is not the maker, can always set up their views any way they want. I'm just going to do a hard refresh here to pick up that last change. There's order details. Now I'm going to edit the columns, and I'm going to add my number columns. So I'm going to add the product, the quantity and the unit price, and the discount. And if you want, you click on related and you can add some information from the related tab, such as the customer name and the employee name. Okay, so now I've done that. I can, if I want to, I can sort newer to older. I can remove this because I don't need it. So let's just go here and remove that. I might switch these around a little bit. They're pretty easy to switch around too. All right, apply. Once I get my view the way I want, you can see that I can save it as my own view. We'll just leave it as is. So this is my report. And so what I'm going to do is click on visualize this view, because this integration is all about the view. So I'm going to visualize the view, and when Power BI kicks in here, it's specifically looking at the columns or the schema of this view, and it's analyzing and giving us insights on that. So that's why it's kind of important to set up your columns first before you press the button. Feel free to save the view as well. So just drop down the little drop down next to the view name and do save as. This way you can keep that view for later use. I didn't save it here just for the sake of time. It will take a minute or so to generate the report. It's automatically looking at the data. When it's ready, it'll tell you it's ready, and then it'll load itself. Notice that you do have access to change, okay, which fields do you want to use? I want to use quantity. I want to use discount. I want to use product. And I can now see the insights that I'm looking to find out. Obviously, coffee is the thing we're selling the most, right? And then notice all the cards you have here that kind of give you some good metrics that you can look at. So feel free to use this. You can actually save this with your own name, okay? And then you can edit that dashboard. So if it's easier for you to start with the visualization and then revise it, then this is a great idea for doing that, all right? And you can save it to whatever workspace you have access to. So basically, that's it. There's a lot to say on this topic, I will say. We talked about a little bit about this when we did forms. So go back to that day on forms to look at that. If you want more, let me know. But I wanted to give you a quick shot at how many things you have an opportunity to use related to Power BI directly in your apps. So I'm going to say that's enough for today, and I'm going to wish you a happy holiday, and I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow. Happy holidays!